Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for zooming back in to the Halal Metropolis. We are speaking to Sister LaTerry Mohsin of So Modest during this second series, and we're also speaking on how Muslims in Southeast Michigan are coping with COVID-19. Assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. We're doing well. I'm well. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I'm really excited to talk to you. Tell me a little bit about your educational background.
So my undergraduate degree is in fashion marketing and merchandising, with a triple major, so fashion, merchandising, marketing, business management, and a minor in communications. My graduate degree is in learning design and technology, and I also studied fashion design in London.
Wow, you are a fashionista.
It's been in my blood, like my whole life. It's just been in my blood.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how have you been able to deal with COVID-19 with your passion of fashion and sewing and all things fabric?
So one of the immediate things that we did was reduce our classes. Once we got through the initial shutdown, we went from about 12 to 16 students per class down to 6. So we're able to give everyone a bit more space physically and a little bit more attention. And what I found is that with people being home so much, particularly women taking on the burden of all of their children being home all the time, like not having any time away at school or break or the different functions that they used to attend, they're also working from home, and maybe their partners or spouses are also working from home, that they have really taken this as like a home away from home, a getaway, a place that is just for them, where they can learn and practice a skill that they love and are passionate about, but also just that community with other women. And it has been totally phenomenal. On one hand, I think that it's really helped to show people the value and the appreciation of building these kind of connections with like-minded women.
Mm-hmm. Alhamdulillah. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful place. So do you have a waiting list?
So what normally happens is that the classes will book up, and then people are still calling like, can I just get in? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Here's the next class. And then I have some that are like, well, my cousin and my friend are in that class. I need to get in that particular class. And I've actually had that happen where I've like called other students and kind of see if like, you be willing to join the later class so that this like family group can stay together. So it's been really, really interesting how the dynamic has worked. And just like, I'm literally floored by the women that I meet through this process, and the connections that they make with each other. I have a couple of groups where they started out together, they were totally strangers, and as they progressed through the introductory level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level, they're like, okay, we need to lock schedules because we're always going to be in the same class together.
So what age groups do you take?
So for the regular classes, it's ages 13 to like, I've had, I think my oldest student's probably in her 60s.
Okay, that's good.
But for our summer camp, we take ages 6 to 19.
Oh, when does that start?
So the summer camp starts last week of June, inshallah, and we're actually fundraising for it right now, because the goal is that it'll be a program that's based on who would benefit the most from it, as opposed to like, who just has discretionary funds. So we started fundraising last week, and alhamdulillah, it's going really well so far. We've already raised $700 of our $15,000 goal. Okay. And so it's 3 levels to the summer camp. The first one is our like tiny tots, our mini sewers.
That's so precious.
And that's where we have like 6 to 11.
Uh-huh.
And then the next age group is 12 to 14, and then we have 15 to 19. And with each level, we're going to be creating like a couture ball gown. So each student will have access
Oh,
to luxury fabrics, materials, lace, all of these beautiful things to create the gown of their dreams. And we end with like a gala dinner graduation ceremony,
oh,
inshallah. And every week we have different discussion topics. So we're talking about body image, we're talking about confidence, we're talking about supporting other women without that becoming an intimidation factor for yourself.
uh-huh.
We're talking about anxiety, coping mechanisms, all of these things like life skills that are really going to help them in every area of their life while they're also pursuing this creative outlet.
That is wonderful. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. That's wonderful. So how is it? Have you seen the need for it more during COVID than any time in the past?
I think so, absolutely. A lot of people during the initial impact of COVID were looking for a new hobby or looking to explore something that they haven't really pursued in a while. Like, it's been a passion in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you saw was a huge impact for the sewing community. Obviously, a lot of us were sewing masks in the beginning and
Right,
selling them or even donating them for first responders.
right.
Um, but then you also just saw like I'm at home and I have extra time and I really just want to use that time like in any way I can. And so I saw a big uptick in like hobbyist sewers. And you saw that even if you were looking for a sewing machine, for example, like
Yeah.
some of the machines that I use in my class, last January, I was able to buy them for $130.
Mm.
By the time we hit like May, the same exact machine, $450.
Wow. Price gouging is real, right? During COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. A part of that is definitely, price gouging, but you saw that the demand for it really increased.
Mhm.
And people were really interested in picking that up again as a hobby, which I think is really wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. I do too. I think it's great too. So how do you manage the smaller children when they're wearing their mask in your class? Or have you not
Um,
tackled that yet?
Yeah, actually, I have. I've had a class with two 6-year-olds and a 10-year-old and 11-year-old.
Mhm.
And they were actually really phenomenal about keeping their mask on. We have a lobby area, so if it feels like I need a break from my mask, I can go to the lobby where there's nobody else, and it's private, so it's inside of our studio. So I can go and have a private moment where I can just take it off, breathe, have a drink, and have a break from wearing the mask constantly without, obviously putting anyone else at risk.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. How can people get in touch with you if they're interested in taking a class?
They can visit us online at So Modest, SEW, modest.com. You can also find us on Facebook at So Modest Studio or Instagram at SEW.modest.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, sister. I do appreciate you. I don't know how to sew clothes, but I can sew other things. Maybe one day I'll take a break and come and see you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.